What if I told you that two of the biggest names in tech YouTube, Mrwhosetheboss,
$15,000 in the next 5 minutes buying the most extreme survival tech on the internet. And then I'm going to chuck myself into the wilderness to see if it actually allows me to survive. So I guess the first thing we need—
and Marques Brownlee.
This is a drone. And when I say drone delivery, I think most people picture
might actually secretly dislike each other. And what happened in 2024 may have just sealed the deal forever. But that's not the craziest part. Wait till you hear what Marques did next. On the surface, Aaron Mainey, better known as Mrwhosetheboss, and Marques Brownlee, also known as MKBHD, seem like they'd be the perfect duo. They're both clean-cut, intelligent, articulate tech reviewers with massive followings. Aaron has over 18 million subscribers. Marques, over 18 million as well. Their content styles are sleek, their opinions matter in the tech industry, and they've both interviewed some of the biggest names on the planet, from Sundar Pichai to Elon Musk.
The table. What's your name?
Raja.
Raja. Marques.
Marques.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a blindfold.
Cool.
So go ahead and put that on, and let me know when you're totally blind.
I'm totally blind.
I'm gonna put in.
I've just spent about 4 hours hands-on with the Nintendo Switch 2, the sequel to my favorite console of all time. I've been counting down to this moment for like a quarter of my life. So here's my take. I think that from every single angle you look at it, the Switch 2 is like the—
So why is it that these two titans of tech never collaborate? Why do they never acknowledge each other outside of the occasional polite nod on Twitter? And more importantly, why does it seem like they're actually avoiding each other? To understand that, we have to go way back to the moment their paths first crossed and maybe quietly diverged. In the early 2010 seconds, both Marques and Aaron were climbing the YouTube ladder. Marques had a bit of a head start. He started uploading videos way back in 2009. Aaron joined a couple years later.
In this video, we're going to be talking about the Nexus 6.
And while Marques was already gaining traction with his calm, analytical takes on tech, Aaron was the underdog, the guy filming in his bedroom with a slightly thicker accent and a different style. Marques was always the golden child of tech YouTube, early shoutouts from bigger creators, recognition from major tech companies, and that ever-polished voiceover helped skyrocket his brand.
This is easily one of Apple's craziest, most radical, possibly dystopian products of all time.
But Aaron, he had to claw his way up. He leaned into more dynamic storytelling, budget smartphone reviews, and content that was sometimes more accessible to non-American audiences.
Gingerbread look, it's quite nice. It's got green and stuff. I've put the link in the description. The launcher I'm on is Launcher Pro.
And slowly, steadily, he built a massive global fan base. Now, here's where things get interesting. Despite being in the same space for over a decade, with overlapping content, similar audiences, and identical sponsor rosters, these two have never collaborated, not once. And when they're at the same event, like CES or product launch parties, you can actually see them in each other's background footage. But they never appear together. Why? Let's start with the obvious. Their content philosophies couldn't be more different beneath the surface. Marques is the perfectionist. Every shot is meticulously framed. Every opinion is backed by years of data and testing. He treats YouTube like a tech publication, a brand, a business.
Before a new piece of tech comes out, a lot of tech companies do what's called a pre-brief, which is basically where they'll show the new unreleased piece of tech to a bunch of journalists and tech media and explain everything that's new, and with a little bit of marketing flair too. And I've done my best to never quote these pre-briefings, and I'll do...
Aaron, meanwhile, is the showman. He's a storyteller first and a reviewer second. He's constantly changing formats, trying new editing styles, experimenting with long-form content, short-form content, even dabbling in YouTube Shorts, something Marques refuses to do seriously.
I'm about to spend $15,000 in the next 5 minutes buying the most extreme survival tech on the internet. And then I'm going to chuck myself into the wilderness to see if it actually allows me to survive.
There's a fundamental difference in how they see YouTube. Marques wants to be the tech authority. Aaron wants to be the tech entertainer. That might not seem like a big deal, but in a space as competitive as tech YouTube, where every algorithmic advantage counts, it's huge. And here's the part no one talks about. Aaron has actually outperformed Marques on several viral videos. His iPhone battery tests, smartphone durability tests, and untruth about this product videos have pulled in tens of millions of views, sometimes double what Marques Marquez gets on the same topic. That success didn't go unnoticed, and it may have quietly created tension. In 2022, Marquez released a video ranking smartphone camera systems with an elaborate blind test. It was polished, data-driven, and just what you'd expect from him.
Wow, that is insane. What my dream phone is over the years. And usually my answer is actually something impossible, because I want like the screen from this one phone, but then the cameras from this other phone, and this huge battery over here, and the high-end chip from that other phone, and then I kind of want to Frankenstein them all together. But now there's a phone that appears to be as good as a phone spec sheet can possibly be at this very...
A few months later, Arun released a strikingly similar concept: blind tests, audience polls, community rankings, but with more cinematic storytelling and an emotionally charged twist. People loved it. It got more engagement, more press coverage, and it sparked a mini trend on YouTube. Fans started pointing it out in the comments. Tinnis is better than MKBHD's version.
Two phones right here. So this is the next-gen Xiaomi 15 Ultra, and it has the greatest camera system that I have ever seen on a phone.
Okay, so let's say we wanted to zoom into that cathedral over there. We keep going. We're at 10x, 20x, go all the way to 120 times. Capture. Oh my God. That's ridiculous.
Why didn't Marquez think of doing it this way? That's when the indirect shots started appearing. Marquez posted a now deleted tweet talking about choppy cats who focus more on drama than tech. Arun didn't respond publicly, but in a later video, he did say this: greater than Antoine, you're the underdog. You don't have time to worry about what the top dog thinks of you. You're too busy surviving. Yeah, that one definitely felt aimed at someone. Let's talk about personality. Marquez is famously private, reserved, and calm under pressure. He's business first, very PR aware, and rarely steps outside of his comfort zone. You'll never see him in drama, and if something controversial happens, he waits, calculates, and then posts a response 2 weeks later. Arun, on the other hand, is expressive. He's emotional in his storytelling, quick to react, and isn't afraid to dig into controversy or opinionated takes. He'll call out Apple, he'll roast Samsung, he'll even admit when he was wrong. This makes him more human, but also harder to control in a corporate sense, which brands definitely notice. Marquez gets the brand deals with Tesla, Arun gets the viral videos. And behind closed doors, there are rumors. People who've worked in tech PR have quietly mentioned that Marquez doesn't want to share spotlight with non-American creators. That's never been proven and might not even be true, but it speaks to a perception that's grown louder over time. Now fast forward to 2024, both creators are at the top of their game. Marquez is expanding into podcasting and original series. Arun is dominating viral tech storytelling and short-form content. They're both eating from the same pie, but they're clearly not sharing the table. At a recent Samsung event, they were both invited as very important person creators. Multiple fans reported that they were seated on opposite sides of the room. A few even tried to get them in the same photo, and both declined. That's not coincidence anymore. That's strategy. The truth is, they don't have to be friends. They're not obligated to work together just because they exist in the same niche. But their ongoing silence, their refusal to acknowledge each other despite years of overlap, and the subtle shade in tweets and videos, it tells you everything you need to know. This isn't a friendship waiting to happen. This is a quiet rivalry that might last forever. At the end of the day, the tech YouTube space is too small for two giants to peacefully coexist at the top, especially when one is always trying to outdo the other. Mrwhosetheboss and Marques Brownlee may respect each other. They may even admire each other's grind. But friends, that was never going to happen. And after what we've seen this year, it never will.